And believe it or not, I just remembered something. I'm going to, I'll be back in a second. I had to put my fake tooth in. I told you I had some oral surgery a couple of weeks ago now, and I don't routinely put my fake tooth. It's a temporary tooth, and I don't routinely put it in because it's a pain in the rear end and a pain in the mouth. And I just realized as I was getting ready to go live that I forgot to put it in. Well, I don't really want to look like a... So I put my fake tooth in. Good evening, John. How are you? Nice to have you along with us. I'm going to show a little something of a gift of yours tonight. Josh is with us. Good evening, my friend. How are you? My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live here on the... Craig's fishing right now. Only one so far. Where are you, Craig? Jim's checking in from Tennessee. David is with us. My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live on the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and Twitter as well. Going to give away some freaking pickles tonight. Russell, good evening. How are you? Richard's with us as well. By the sailboat buoys. You're in the right spot, I think. Yesterday I was at A and H. I'll be out there Friday as well. Bernie, how are you this evening? Always nice to have you along with us as we have another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Mad Jack checking in from YouTube. Always nice to have you along with us, Mad Jack. Always nice to have somebody from YouTube. Last week we already had somebody from LinkedIn. Corey checking in from Garden City. How are things in Garden City, Corey? Where is Garden City? Southeast Michigan? I'm not exactly sure. Martin's with us. Martin Schindel. He had a great time fishing with us on Saturday. We did have a great time. Martin, his son Hunter, Justin and Bob, we had a great time. Great time. Really enjoyed it. Jim Ward's with us as well. Gas City's at a ball game. It was John Ormanovich. That's what it was. Spoons. No, I was fishing number 7 flicker shads, and we did have some spoons. I was bouncing spoons off the bottom using Magnum offshore tadpoles, bouncing them off the bottom. Took a couple of fish that way. Skinny water had been going pretty good. When I was out there with Martin last weekend, the skinny water was pretty good. I was out there yesterday in the skinny water, and it wasn't nearly as good. I think probably the storm that we were fishing in that day helped us out. Let me check something here real quick. I don't know why I'm having such a... It was Justin Crawford and Joe Armanovich. That's what it was, Justin and Joe. Sorry for that, guys. Justin Crawford and Joe Armanovich. Good evening, David. Dave's with us. Sherry's with us. Freaking Pickles is here. Sherry will be along with us. She's keeping an eye on things. She will draw. She'll pick the winner of this week's Freaking Pickles. And who's that guy with her? Who's that good-looking guy with her in the picture? What did I just see right here? Tim's along with us. Didn't like the smell here. We got somebody checking in. Uncle Rai 12 checking in on Twitter. Actually, it's on... What is it? It's not on Twitter. It's on what? Tony, how are you? Northeast wind on Friday. I saw that. We're supposed to fish on Friday, and it looks like a pretty good northeast wind on Friday, so I don't know. I really want to fish Friday, but it's not looking good, is it? Lori says she's got the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Ladies Night Out event. Well, have fun, Lori. I'm surprised you even joined us. I appreciate it. Tony sent me something. Here's Tony right here. I got to show you this. Tony sent me this. This goes back to 1990. This is something we put together for an event, a tournament circuit that was called the News 5 Outdoors Saginaw Bay Walleye Circuit. It goes back to 1990. It talks about the fledgling Saginaw Bay walleye fishery. There's a map of the bay with Loran Sea coordinates, not GPS coordinates. It talks about the history of the fishery. And this is something we did back in 1990 to promote what was at the time the fledgling Saginaw Bay walleye circuit. And a lot of people didn't really know how to fish back then. So, Tony, I am really enjoying this. This thing is 30 years old now. And I really, really appreciate this. So thank you, Tony, for that. Who else is along with us? Sherry's with us. Chad Bailey driving back from Kazoo. I still got to pick your brain, Chad. John Miller's with us. The event is July 31st. You're putting it on, or you're getting ready for it. Dan's a Detroit Tigers fan. Scott says, vacay starts tomorrow through the 12th. The eyes are in trouble. Good for you. 90 miles to go, so off the phone. Have a great night. 90 miles. You had to drive that far for your grandma's funeral, Johnny? Paul checking in on LinkedIn from South Haven. Paul, I talked with Captain Dave Engel of Best Chance 2 Charters for the radio show today. I think he was fishing off South Haven. What does the current Wildlife Council members think about the proposed bill to force 2 non-hunters to the Wildlife Council? Don't know. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking it was the Michigan Wildlife Council, but I think it's 2 different things, isn't it? Because if it's the Michigan Wildlife Council and they're here for Generations campaign, there's only 6 people on it. And if they need to put 2 non-hunters on it, what the hell is that all about? Speaking, you were down by North Branch, Sandusky area. Okay. Thank you, Tony, really. Speaking of that, speaking of things that don't make any sense, and I'm getting out of my order of things that I want to talk about tonight, but the Ontario border closure has been extended at least for another month. In Arizona, the Fish and Game Commission has banned the use of trail cameras because they say they're not fair hunting. It's an unfair hunting practice. And here's the one that really gets me going. In Kalamazoo County here in Michigan, the county commissioners have voted to oppose hunting contests. At least in Arizona, it was the Fish and Game Commission who took the vote. At least they have some authority over the issue. What in God's name does the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners, why did they think they need to get involved in a vote to oppose hunting contests? Do you have nothing else to do? I did say freaking pickles. We're going to give some away in a few minutes. I got to believe in Kalamazoo County, you have some infrastructure issues. You've got some roads you want to maintain. The sheriff's department probably wants more money. You probably got to maintain your jail. And there's a few other things going on. But yet you decide that in your infinite wisdom as a tremendously powerful county commissioner, that you need to take a vote in opposition to hunting contests. What is that all about? Why? How does this help your constituents? Get me all riled up, I'll spit my fake tooth out of my mouth. I don't get it. Okay, next Tuesday, switching gears. Next Tuesday, the 6th, we will know here in Michigan who got Michigan bear and elk tags. Hopefully they'll have a court challenge to the county. Well, I don't know, John, because it holds no legal weight. And that's another thing. Why vote on something that holds no legal weight? You're just voting in opposition to hunting contests in what's the word? I can't think of it. Just for the principle of it. Worry about things that you as county commissioners need to worry about. All right, Johnny, my friend. I hope it wasn't too bad of a day for you. I look forward to seeing you soon, Johnny. Amanda's watching a baseball game in Cass City. Nice night for it. Hey, can I show something else off? I showed you my News 5 Outdoor Saginaw Bay Walleye Circuit Fishing Guide from 1990. Here's something more recent. Josh says it's a way to slowly pick away at hunting and fishing rights. It is. But it's one thing to have a conservation or a wildlife group do it. And it's another thing to have a group of county commissioners do it. Look what I got. CMU from John Callison, because I helped sponsor the team. This is a very cool fishing jersey from the CMU bass fishing team. Nice. Are you jealous? Now watch this on the back. Look what else is here. There's an Outdoor Magazine radio logo there too. Is that not sweet? I'm trying to get to it. Trying to do it upside down. There we go. How cool is that? There, you can finally see it. So, John, thank you. I think this is really cool. You guys are watching out for me. Something 30 years old and something brand new. Something old, something new. Bonnie is sitting by a campfire in the UP. Life is good. Dave says, from what I understand, the county is not banning the hunting of coyotes, but only banning contests when hunting these animals. Doesn't matter, Dave. For one thing, they're not voting to ban it because the county commission has no authority over banning such things. They're just voting in principle that they're against it. I know, Lori, 31 years old. I think that's what I said. So, yes. Where'd we go here? They're not, but does it matter? Does it matter at all? If the county commissioner has no authority, why are they even messing with it? Other than to make a political statement in principle that they are against hunting. I don't buy into it. I don't go along with it. And if I lived in Kalamazoo County, I would be actively and avidly involved in letting those people know that they stepped beyond the line, and I would do everything possible to get them out of office, including possibly even running for Kalamazoo County Commissioner myself, just to make a point, if I lived there. That's a crock. Absolute crock. Voting in principle wastes taxpayers' money in reality, right? A vote in principle wastes taxpayers' money in reality. Chad says it makes him scratch his head. Makes me scratch my head so much too. I lost all my hair, Chad. Hey, Chad, you might find this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show interesting. Pretty soon, I'll get the permanent one in there, and I won't feel like I'm talking around something in the middle of my mouth. Why do you have to say 1990 like it was a long time ago? It was 31 years ago, Ed. Let them have it, and LOL. There are some things that I have very little tolerance for. In fact, no tolerance for. And the attack on our outdoor lifestyle, the attack on hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping is the one thing, and the attack on religion are two things that I have absolutely no tolerance for. You are watching me on TV in 1990. Man, I'm an old guy. Dave got married in 1990. Evening, Kevin. How are you? Chad, getting back to my comments towards you, and I'll get to it. I'm going to work down the rundown of this week's show. Eric Lenz from the St. Clair Walleye Association joins me. The reason Eric's on the show is he reached out to me and asked if he could be on the show, which raises another point. Last week, somebody says, how come you don't do anything out of Branch County? Well, for one thing, I don't think I've ever done anything outdoor related in Branch County. I think I've probably only driven through Branch County. I have nothing against Branch County, but I just have no frame of reference there. So what I'm suggesting is if you have a topic that you would like me to talk about or an outdoor related activity or whatever, let me know about it. Don't just complain about it. Let me know about it, and we'll see if we can change it. I'm not going to guarantee you it'll end up on the show, but I guarantee you I'll take a look at it. Send me an email to mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. That's mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. That's what Eric Lenz did, and that's how Eric ended up on the show. Then Drew Youngdyke from the National Wildlife Federation. You can follow Drew on Instagram at Michigan Outside. In hour number 2, that conversation with Dave Engel from Best Chance Charters. He's out on Lake Michigan while we're talking. Nick Green from MUCC with details of a sports fisherman sweepstakes where you can go online, go to mucc.org. You can go online to get in on a charter fishing trip and help fund their defense of sport fishing. In the consent decree negotiations. You guys, you're killing me. You guys are killing me. I was 8 years old in 1990. I wasn't born in 1990. I was in Little League in 1990. I was 32 years old in 1990. But I'm still here. And in hour number 3, getting back to Chad Bailey's comments, you thought I forgot, didn't you? Kevin Pritchard, the manager of the archery department at Jay's Sporting Goods in Clare, helps us get ready for the archery season. It's getting to be that time, isn't it? And of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner. Craig says he was 29, if that helps. That does help, Craig. That does help. You're almost as old as dirt as well. But I do know, though, that Tony's older than us. Not my friend Tony Sovey, but Tony Wint, who sent me this. And he's proud of it. Getting the younger ones on. I know it is kind of cool, isn't it? I don't have a very good memory, actually, John, at all. Jim says he was 28. Thanks, guys. Oh, 28. That's pretty close. John says I have the best memory. I don't. I have to be honest. My memory is terrible. I routinely have people talk to me about things we did a while ago. Ed's on the fence about getting a new bow before we go to Ohio. I say do it. Keep that fishing and hunting economy going. I can't remember things. My son James used to work with me. He'll say, remember when we did this? Remember when we did that? No, I don't. I've had people say, you should write a book or at least a memoirs of what you've done. I'd love to. But I can't remember them. Dave's out all the way. I can't get about 9 miles an hour. Think since 5 is one big cat. John was knee-high to a grasshopper in 19. Always get a new bow. Always, Nate says. I agree. If you wake up in the morning, get a new bow. If you go to sleep at night, get a new bow. If it's raining, get a new bow. If it's sunny, get a new bow. All answers lead back to get a new bow, Ed. And I'm sure Chad Bailey would agree with me. What else is on my list? Shall we give away some freaking pickles? Let me share with you. what Freaking Pickles is all about. This, my friends, let me get rid of the comment there if I can. This is Freaking Pickles. Freakingpickles.com is the website, freakingpickles.com. They now have a new store in Au Gres. You can get these online as well. They're all over the state of Michigan. Upcoming shows in Tawas, in Au Gres. Oh, those are old ones. Never mind. Don't print it. Don't print it. Let's take a look. Shop. Here you go. Look at all these different products. Freaking Pickles are excellent. Excellent. Look at the choice you've got here. Retail locations. You've got a list of them across the state. Look at all those retail locations. Hey, Sherry, congratulations. Look at this. This is getting pretty cool. So pick where you are. You go to a retail location in your area. What are these two Midland ones? Jack's. I didn't know Jack's had them. And Lawns. Excellent. Excellent. So freakingpickles.com, but you guess what? We're going to give you a chance to win some right now. Ed says his dad subscribes to that theory, but with crossbows, a new one every year. I can't argue with that either. You now have 2 minutes. Right there. 2 minutes, John Callison. Get ready. 2 minutes to make your comments on why you want to win some Freaking Pickles. Freaking Pickles are freaking great. Scott says, how good are they? They're excellent. They really are. And, they're not sponsoring me. They're not an ad partner. They don't pay me. I know Sherry from way back. Sherry, did you see this, Sherry? Look at this. Remember this? News 5 Outdoors? I think Sherry was at TV5 with me when I was doing News 5 Outdoors. She's much younger. Sherry's much younger. Rick says he loves the Freaking Pickles. Never tried them, but definitely want to try them. Lori bought Fish Camp 2 weekends ago. They're perfect. Who doesn't want to win some pickles? Exactly. They are amazing. Absolutely amazing, Martin says. Paul says he found a new Freaking Pickle recipe. Wants to try Freaking Pickles with it. You can't go wrong. Freaking Pickles, freakingpickles.com is the website. They really are very, very good. So what we're going to do in 1 minute, keep making your comments. In 1 minute, Sherry is going to draw the winner. Want to get some for your daughter? Love them deep fried. I haven't thought of I love deep fried pickles, Tim. I haven't thought of deep frying Freaking Pickles. Bread and butter, pretty darn good, Jim says. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Sherry Harpham standing by. She's going to draw a winner out here in 15 seconds. Tell us why you want to win some Freaking Pickles. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Contest is over. That wasn't my best, but it wasn't bad. I fluttered a little bit here. I can't breathe while I'm doing it. Kevin, if you go to freakingpickles.com, you can look at the list and they'll tell you where to get them in the clear area. Paul Gator Larnett. Sherry, you're learning. You picked that one right away, Sherry. Paul Gator Larner, 2414. That's right in there. Paul Gator Larner, congrats. Send me a private message with your shipping address, or Sherry's on here right now. Send them directly to Sherry. And she'll get some out to you right away. Anybody who's ever won Freaking Pickles here, anybody I know who's ever bought them or tried them thinks they're absolutely wonderful. So, Sherry, we appreciate that very much. Congrats on the success. Because folks should know that they pretty much launched Freaking Pickles just before COVID hit. And they were able to hold it together and grow during COVID. And now they're really getting ready to just take off. So Sherry, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your son. Happy for Ted and everybody involved. Freakinpickles.com is the website, freakinpickles.com. And Paul Gator Larner, I got to write it down or I'll forget because I don't have a memory. And Sherry, just while I've got you, were you at TV5 during this time, or did you come in after this? That's how long I've known Sherry. We worked at TV5 together, WNEM TV5 in Saginaw, Michigan together. Many moons ago. She was only like 10 and I was 30, but you know. Thank you, she says. I'm curious though, Sherry, if you're still around, were you at TV5 when I was doing the News 5 outdoors or not? Dave says congrats. Lee says congrats. John says congrats. Congrats, Paul Gator Larner. I don't know if Sherry's going to answer me or not. You started there at 86 until 95. So you were there. You were there. All right, Sherry, I'm going to let you go. Say hi to your hubby for me. Tell him to take a break. Tell him to take a big breath. This weekend, right? The holiday weekend. Tell him to take a breath, put his feet up, and relax a little bit. We have power. Prepper life is over for now. But Bill, you and I both know that eventually, more than likely, you're going to have to use those skills long term. Just saying. A wink's as good as a nod. You know what I mean? You are more than welcome, Sherry. Always a pleasure. What could be a new pickle name? The Prepper? And Sherry, isn't it amazing what we can do? Wink. Wink. Isn't it amazing what we can do with social media now? You know, when we were both at TV5, it would take a live truck in a studio and stuff to do something live like this. And now look at it. We can do it online, on the internet. Wink, wink. Oh, I think my neighbor Ty's going to mow his lawn when I'm doing this. He has a habit of doing that. What else is on my list? Hey, listen, the fishing. I finally got my Saginaw Bay walleye mojo back. I was starting to get a little bit concerned. Well, Bernie, thanks for what you do, and that's for checking in and letting us know you're here. I appreciate it. Yeah, but good crazy, right, Sherry? Good crazy. Jim Boot says, yay, I got my mojo back. Dave says, what app do I use for Saginaw Bay wave reports? There's a wind finder app, and it's on my phone, and it's on my phone, and I'm using my phone right now as a camera, so I can't open it up for fear of losing this feed. I use Wind Finder, and I use the Weather Channel primarily. Paul just sent me his address. He's in Monroe. Wind Finder, Chad says. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm thinking of. And what I'm concerned about is I'm supposed to fish with a good friend of mine, Lanny Dexter, on Friday. We've been trying to put this together for weeks and weeks. Ed says Wind Finder Pro. Ed won't use just the regular Wind Finder. He uses the Pro version. Did I have any damage on my property last week? Richard, my property is so small it would be hard to have damage on it. I've got a house and a little yard, and thank God we didn't have any damage. We didn't get any storms like that here. It rained like crazy. Sail flow is a good one. Brian, I can't force myself to use anything that has the word sail in it. Blowboat. Get it? How about you, Richard? Did you have any damage? I mean, we're not that far from each other. Maybe it was worse than I thought. Maybe I was on the bay when it was bad over here. Anyway, I got my mojo back. The skinny water that I love so much. Last weekend, when I was out there with Martin Schindel and Justin and Joe and Hunter, his son Hunter, John says the tornado warnings followed him from Rosebush all the way to Lansing. Geese haven't been too bad. I did see him the other day, ran him out of the yard, but they haven't been too bad yet. Flicker shads from Jay's Saturday for your first trip to the Bay this weekend. Number 7 flicker shads. That's what I use. I think Chad uses number 5. Chad Bailey's does. I use number 7 flicker shads. Yesterday, I was in like 22 feet of water, and the fish were deep. When we first got out there, they were pretty high, and then they dropped. We actually ended up running flicker shads 70 feet back and more, plus on the Precision Trolling app. And here's an app you need on your phone, the 50+2 method. You put out 50 feet of line, you snap you put a 2-ounce snap weight on the line, and that drops it down more. We were catching fish that way. And then also, we were, got a cushion behind me here. It's driving me crazy. Bouncing spoons off the bottom. Here's a technique I really like. When the fish are on the bottom, take a Magnum offshore tadpole, 6 feet behind it, put a spoon. Take those Magnum tadpoles and put them on the back corners of your boat. And you fish them almost straight down. So you can put your boards out to the side, but yet you've got those 2 baits bouncing the bottom, 2 spoons bouncing the bottom. They are number 7s. Good, Kevin. Craig just got a nice gator. It's me, Craig. Here's what it is. They can hear the sound of my voice, and they come to it. I am so in tune with Saginaw Bay walleye now, and my mojo is so strong that the walleye who have been avoiding your baits for the last 2 hours now hear my voice. It's transmitted through the fishing line into the lure, and the fish are attracted to it. Yeah, Ed, I would like to do that. Right? That's what it is. It's the sound of my voice, which some people say is soothing. Some people say is irritating. So anyway, we went up in the shallow water, the skinny water, with Martin and Justin and Joe and Hunter. I'm not dreaming, Tony. This is real. I'm not dreaming. The walleye whisperer. I can't go that far, Jim. I can't go that far. We went up in the skinny water that I love so much Saturday morning. And the reason I was in there is the weather was so bad. And if you looked at radar, there were some pretty bad thunderstorms coming across. So I didn't want to venture too far offshore. So I stayed in the skinny water, hoping that the low light levels and the chop and the rain would have the fish up in there. And they were. We did pretty well up in there. Got some really nice fish. Had an interesting situation, broke off a board, an offshore OR12 board with a fish on the end of it. So we had to hand line it in. You saw an Angler Quest in some skinny water on the east side yesterday. What time, Josh? Could have been me. Seriously, I was out there yesterday morning. Caught 2 fish in skinny and then headed out to the sailboat buoys. What time were you out there, Josh? Fishing with Scott Gatza last week had an interesting situation as well. Scott hooked somebody's lead core, and on the end of the lead core was a walleye, and it was a fresh fish. It wasn't something that somebody caught a week ago. It was like they hooked it that morning, broke off the lead cord. We hooked their lead cord, and there was a fresh fish on the end of it. You're right. If I fish with this jersey, the walleye will be jumping in the box, even though it says CMU bass fishing. I think it'll be a walleye magnet too. What time, Josh? I'm curious. Just before noon. No, I was out of there before then. We bailed out of there about probably 9 o'clock or so. We got an early start and then bailed out early. Hello, Chris. Good evening. How are you? So, Josh, at work there, you can keep a close eye on that skinny water, huh? All right, Sherry. Freaking Pickles signing off. Look at it. It's 7:30 and Sherry's still out there delivering Freaking Pickles. For you folks who think people who own their own businesses just sit back and collect money, Sherry's been on the road all day, including a trip to Southeast Michigan, Detroit, delivering freaking pickles, and she lives up north. So she's putting her time in. Good luck to you, Sherry. Always a pleasure. And again, thanks for your generosity. Our winner, Paul Gator Larner, did give me his address, Sherry. I will text it to you here when I'm done or tomorrow, depending on when I remember it. All right, what else is on the list here, my friends? I talked about the rundown. I also recorded a Shadow Hunter Blinds podcast today, Beyond the Blind, with a guy named Chris Bishop. Chris is with Buckmasters Outfitters in Pike County, Illinois. There are a lot of AQs out there now, aren't they, Chad? A lot of them now. I ran into them. Well, I didn't run into them. I saw a couple myself out there yesterday. It's still a small enough group, but when we see each other, we always wave. There's a fellow AQ. Hey, buddy. Yeah, they're a great fishing machine. I love mine. Love it. You know what else I love? That 300-horse Merc. That thing is a beast. It'll still push that boat along. And I got some grass starting to grow on the tubes now. More than 40 miles an hour, yet I control down to 550 RPMs, and it runs as smooth as can be. I can be cruising along at 25 miles an hour, and you think you're flying, put the hammer down, put the throttle down on that Merc, and it takes off. It'll put you right back in your seat. It's a very impressive outboard. Here's something interesting, though. I'd never had this happen before. We were fishing the skinny water, and we got up into some weeds, and it's about that same time we decided, yes, it's kind of like having a Corvette, or like having the Corvette engine in my Silverado. We got into some weeds and decided, you know what, this isn't worth it. We're going to go out to the sailboat buoys. So we pulled everything in, and everything was weeded up. I didn't give it a second thought, right? So I put the boat up on I just got it up on plane. I wasn't really going yet, but the boat was fast enough to be up on plane. I get a warning beep, and the motor shut down. And I get a warning immediately that my temperature's too hot. I've never had that happen before. Well, thank goodness that the engine is smart enough to protect itself from something like that. I thought we'd either picked up some weeds or I got too close to a sandbar and stuck some sand or something in there. So I put the boat in reverse, gave it a little throttle, a little bit of gas, and this huge ball of weeds came floating up. My intake for the lower unit had become blocked with weeds. It wasn't getting enough water to cool the motor down, and it shut itself down. It did. It plugged the inlet, plugged the intake. But isn't it nice that the motor is smart enough that it shut itself down before it did any damage? I'm real happy with it, Dave. I got to tell you, I really like this Merc. I mean, you know, it's an 8-cylinder, 300-horse motor, so you got to believe it's going to be pretty nice. But the fact that I can use the troll control and troll down to 550 RPMs in 10 RPM increments, it did get my attention for a second, though. I thought, whoa, what's going on? And then right away, overheat. I mean, it told me it came up on my Garmin unit on my dash right away. It told me right away what was going on. So, I mean, literally within 1 second, I knew what the problem was. Chad loves his Merc Pro XS. Or if we were talking about this in iPhone terms, it would be a 10S. It would be a Merc Pro 10S. And some of you people right now are thinking I'm an absolute idiot when I came up with that. Tim says, do I even use my electric motor? Tim, I took my bow mount electric off the boat. I don't even use it. That big Merc trolls down so nice and so smooth and so slow, I don't even use it. I guess the only reason I would even want it on there would be as a backup in case the big motor went down, I could come in on the electric. But it just gets in the way. I got to be honest with you. It doesn't hold a charge worth a darn when you're trying to troll flicker shads or Hottentots at 2.5 miles an hour. It's just not worth it. So I took it off and I got it out of my way. Also, we had something else pretty cool. Up in the skinny water, we caught fish on Hottentots. Or spot lock. Yes, for perch fishing, I would put it on for spot lock. Absolutely, Josh. You are 100% correct right there. In the skinny water, I had a couple of boards out 15 feet from the boat with Hottentots down 25 and 30 feet, and we had doubles. Will it troll down to crawler speed? Who cares? I don't know. I suspect no, but who cares? That's a joke, Ed, but you know that. If and going back to the bow mount, if I was fishing crawlers at 0.9 miles an hour, I would run the electric bow mount and it would run all day long. I have no doubt about it. But trying to run it at 3 times the speed that I think it's designed for, Chad says, "What's a crawler?" Chad, what crawlers are is they're not an insect. They're a critter. They're a creature that lives in the ground, and they dig burrows. They dig holes, and then they come up in the springtime, and people grab them and they pull them out. And if they keep them themselves, they put them in bus bedding, or you buy them at a bait shop. And you know I'm joking too. Don't I ban people that talk about crawlers? Good point. I'm going to ban Ed Bolanowski. Anything over 1.5 miles on a heavy boat isn't made for an electric for the vast majority of fishermen. I agree with you, Josh, 100%. Because I've had, I think, 5 different angler quests now, at least 4, all of them with big, heavy-duty, high-end electric bow mount trolling motors, and I ended up not using any of them because, to be honest with you, they couldn't stand up to what I was putting them through at 2.5 miles an hour. Plus, the big motors troll down so nice that there was no reason to. Again, the only reason it would be nice to have it if I'm, a few miles offshore and for some reason the big Merc breaks down and I can't get a hold of towboat or whatever, it would be nice to have the bow mount to come in. It would take forever, but I'm not so worried about it that I'm going to leave it on there and get in the way. I just took it right off. Ed, Tim says he's sorry, but he's not really. Hey, I talked to Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dave Miner on the show today, the radio show. He says he's going to be open for business at Oscar and Joey's within 2 weeks. So, water temp out there was 72 yesterday. It had dropped and now it's coming back up. So, a little shine today. A little something on my nose like I hit it with a... What speed for flicker shads? I like roughly 2.5. I like it roughly 2.5 miles an hour. I'll go faster. I'll go slower. I talked with Jason at the Lumberjack too about a Wednesday night live. I wanted to do it in August, but they don't want to do it until the fall. So I suspect that I thought the first Wednesday night live was going to be at the Lumberjack. Since they don't want to do it till fall, early fall, and I don't blame them, I suspect that the first Wednesday night live in person will be at Oscar and Joey's. What do you say we fill the place up? Dave hasn't had any business in there in over a year. I think we should fill it up. Doesn't seem like fish would find worms as good food. You rarely see worms. I know it, Don. Yeah. Saginaw Bay walleye eat night crawlers, but I don't believe that night crawlers are floating around Saginaw Bay, but yet the walleye eat them. Tim says, and tip very well. Amen to that, brother. Ed says, cool. Where we go? Lori says, now Oscar and Joey's. I think so, Lori, for the reasons that I said. I've been talking to Jason Wolverton about the Lumberjack, and he said Emil doesn't want to do it quite yet because they got their summertime business now and they don't want to cut into that. I get it. Dave, on the other hand, has not been open, and I think he's eager for the business. All right. It sounds like we've already got a crew coming together for Oscar and Joey's. I will talk with Dave about when. let me give him a few weeks to get back open, to get the staff back in the flow of things, to let Dave get in the back in the flow of things, to work out any bugs that you're going to have inevitably from being closed for over a year. And then we'll set a date. I suspect let's shoot for sometime in early August. Okay, that's about a month away because this is the 4th of July weekend. Tentative dates. Let me throw a couple tentative dates out. August 11th. I'm going to put it in here right now. Dave doesn't know anything about this yet, so don't call the restaurant right now and say, I want to reserve my spot for Oscar and Joey's. Don't call him yet because he doesn't know about it yet. Dave's out fishing. He says his wife just broke her luck. She got her first walleye in over 30 years. Because, Dave, you are listening to me and the sound of my voice is traveling down the fishing line to the bait and the walleye can't resist it. Emil said September. That's what I was hearing too. Josh says he'll be in Pentwater on the 11th. Well, listen, Josh, I'm not sold on the 11th. You've been a loyal. Lori can't do the 11th either. Well, listen, I want to. Okay, what about if? Let me throw out the 4th. Let me throw out a date of the 4th. Does that work better? I'm going to stay on here a few more minutes just to get some thoughts. Is the 4th better? You can still pay for the labor to go. I don't know what that means. I know you haven't, Josh. How about the 4th? Does that work better? Lori, that works for Lori? How about you, Josh? What do I have in the Yeti? Crystal Light. So we can just stick our phone in the water while you're on and just use a net? Yes. Yes. Tim says the 4th works for him. Josh says the 4th. All right. Let's tentatively look at August 4th as at Oscar and Joey's. Again, I have not talked with Dave about this to confirm it, so don't put this in stone and don't call Dave for a reservation yet. I don't know what that means. So you're putting Dave in the trick bag. I don't know what that means. All right, my friends. Yes, you can just stick your phone in the water. Put a hook on your phone. Tune into a Wednesday night live. And you'll catch walleye based on the sound of my voice. My voice is very soothing to walleye. Walleye love the sound of my voice. Walleye are enchanted by my voice. Walleye are entranced by my voice. Walleye bite lures at the sound of my voice. And with that, thank you for joining me on another edition of Wednesday Night Live.